Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're diving into a really fascinating case study. It's from the world of marketing, sure, but also cultural discourse. American Eagle's controversial Sydney Sweeney Has Great Genes campaign.
Ah, yes, that one. It definitely made waves.
Right. And this wasn't just some small ad campaign either. This was, a major investment for American Eagle. They got Sydney Sweeney, huge it girl, to promote their denim. Prime time, too, for the back-to-school rush.
Exactly. High stakes.
But it spiraled pretty quickly, and it's something much bigger. I don't think anyone there really saw that coming.
Probably not the specifics, no.
No, our sources really lay out why this campaign stirred up such a massive discussion. We're going to explore all the layers here, the wordplay, the wider cultural stuff it tapped into, and then ultimately see what the actual data says about how it landed, its impact.
Yeah, what's really fascinating, I think, is how a simple marketing campaign, or what seems simple, can just become this lightning rod, for all these broader societal debates bubbling up. We'll try and connect the dots here between the brand's strategy, how the public saw it, and this whole evolving landscape of, what people are calling cancel culture.
Okay, so let's start at the heart of it, the tagline. So that seems to be ground zero, right? Sydney Sweeney has great genes. That was the line. And it's clearly, deliberate wordplay on good genes.
Can't miss it.
And our sources actually point out something interesting here. In some of the early promo stuff, the word genes was actually shown as G-E-N-E-S, genes, before they corrected it.
Wow, okay, so maybe not that subtle then.
Right, and then in one of the videos, Sweeney herself has this line about how genes determine traits, like, hair and eye color.
Okay, yeah. That detail is pretty key, isn't it? It almost feels like they wanted you to think about both meanings, but maybe they just, misjudged how that could blow up.
Yeah, how it could be interpreted.
It raises that question, how much ambiguity is too much ambiguity in marketing? Especially when you're trying to reach, everyone. That wordplay, clever or not, really seems like the foundation for all the criticism that came later.
And it wasn't just the wordplay people picked up on, was it?
Yeah.
Our sources show that pretty quickly, critics started calling it out as a throwback, like old school sex sells.
Right, that angle came up fast.
And you can kind of see why. The sources give specific examples. Like there's one video where the camera literally pans down to Sweeney's chest, right? And she's saying, my body's composition is determined by my genes. And then she looks up kind of playfully and says, hey, eyes up here.
Yeah, that's not subtle. It feels very deliberate.
It's a pretty classic move, really, almost. Jarring, maybe, for a brand that's trying to reach Gen Z.
Absolutely. It feels like a real contrast to a lot of the, the body positivity and authenticity themes we usually see in youth marketing now. And it immediately brought up comparisons to those really controversial old ads, like the Calvin Klein ones with Brooke Shields back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, the nothing comes between me and my Calvins era.
Exactly. So critics saw this American Eagle campaign as kind of regressive, especially for Gen Z. They felt it was just catering to, what academics call the male gaze.
But it didn't stop there, did it?
Yeah.
The criticism went further, much further. Our sources show it escalated into these really charged accusations. Like, suddenly the conversation wasn't just about sex cells, it was about eugenics and white supremacy.
Yeah, that was a significant leap, and it got a lot of attention.
So how did that happen? Basically, the genes wordplay combined with Sydney Sweeney's specific look, blonde hair, blue eyes.
The stereotypical Aryan look, some would say.
Right. That combination led to this intense backlash. People online, some media outlets, started accusing the campaign of, subtly pushing eugenic ideas, promoting white beauty standards. Some critics actually called the ad master race propaganda.
Which is incredibly strong language for a jeans ad.
Extremely strong.
And what seemed to fuel this, according to the sources, was also Sweeney's association with sort of Americana imagery in the ads, plus her broader public image, which, had previously gotten tangled up in discussions around right-wing politics online.
Right, that context mattered to the critics.
It did. And it's really important for us to state here, for you listening, that we're just reporting these viewpoints. These are the arguments that surfaced in the sources. We're not endorsing them, just outlining how this whole interpretation came about and connected with existing cultural anxieties.
Absolutely. Impartial reporting here. And that connection, that interpretation, it didn't just stay online buzz, did it? It became a real flashpoint, especially in what felt like a very polarized time culturally and politically. The sources detail how it got amplified even more when actual political figures started weighing in. you had some commentators, particularly on the right, defending the ad.
Right.
And, mocking the critics as being woke or overly sensitive.
Right. And that action, politicians jumping in, effectively turned what started as, a discussion about a marketing campaign into a full-blown culture war issue.
Another one.
Exactly. So for some people, defending the ad became about pushing back against progressive social movements or what they saw as woke advertising trends. It really shows how brands can just stumble into these massive cultural battles almost accidentally.
Or maybe not so accidentally, depending on how cynical you are about marketing.
That's true too.
Yeah.
But it highlights how crucial it is for marketers today to understand the political undercurrents their campaigns might hit. And again, just to be clear, our job here is just to lay out how these dynamics played out according to our sources. We're staying impartial.
Okay, so you've got all this heat, all this controversy swirling. What did American Eagle actually do? How did they respond?
Well, officially.
Officially, yeah. They put out a statement, kind of defended the campaign. They basically said, look, Sydney Sweeney has great genes, is and always was about the genes. Full stop.
Right, doubling down on the product focus.
And they repeated their commitment to celebrating how everyone wears their jeans with confidence. The standard brand message.
Mm-hmm. But here's where it gets really interesting if you look at the bigger picture. Despite all that negative press, the social media firestorm, some of the data tells a surprisingly different story.
Oh, like what?
Well, for starters, American Eagle's stock price actually went up shortly after the campaign launched.
Seriously, a jump.
A noticeable jump, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe even more surprising, some analytics firms looked at the social media conversation and found that a majority of the posts about the campaign were actually positive.
Wait, positive? How?
It seems it was largely driven by people defending the ad, defending Sydney Sweeney, pushing back against the criticism. So it speaks volumes about the attention economy, doesn't it? Maybe any attention, even outrage, can end up boosting visibility, maybe even sales.
Wow. So the backlash generated a counter backlash that ended up being good for the brand in some metrics.
It seems that way based on this data. Increased brand salience, certainly. Whether it translated to long-term loyalty is another question, but the immediate impact was significant attention.
Huh. And we should probably mention, too, there was a philanthropic part of this, right? The campaign included a special Sydney Gene, a limited edition thing, where proceeds went to a nonprofit focused on domestic violence awareness.
Right, that was another layer to it. But taking the business outcomes, the stock bump, the positive sentiment data, it really forces you to ask, what does this tell us? How does controversy actually translate, or maybe not translate, into brand perception and financial success today? Is it really true that all press is good press if you just want to cut through the noise?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So, okay, we've sort of unpacked this whole journey. A campaign meant to sell jeans ends up sparking debates about body image, marketing ethics, sex sells, eugenics, white supremacy, political polarization, free speech. I mean, the list goes on.
It really became a microcosm of so many current tensions.
Yeah, like holding up a mirror to where we are culturally.
I think the core takeaway really is just how complex that interplay is between what a brand intends with its message, how consumers actually interpret it through their own lenses, and then how all of that gets amplified and refracted through the broader cultural and political context we're all living in.
It's a case study in unintended consequences, maybe? Or maybe intended consequences, just unexpected ones.
Could be either. It's definitely a lesson in the shifting dynamics of public conversation and how quickly things can escalate.
So, maybe the final thought for you listening is this. What does this campaign's journey, from this intense criticism and scrutiny to what looks like surprising business success in some ways, what does that tell you? What does it say about the power of just getting attention, positive or negative?
Yeah.
And how do we collectively, as a culture, decide what's really controversial anymore in this incredibly connected, noisy world?
It's definitely something to mull over.
Yeah. Keep digging, keep asking questions, keep exploring the stuff that matters to you.